Hey everybody, Miranda Pitrone back from vacation here with you to do another video. In light of the past art show, I just entered my Tropical Island Escape design, won first place, and I am so excited. And I think in light of that, we're gonna do a little palm tree island tonight for our video. It kind of is along the lines of this here. This was my latest stone that I had done the palm tree island escape on. And this one is a little bit larger than what we're going to do tonight. Tonight I have a different triangle piece of wood here. I'm going to try something a little different. So let's get started. Alright, so I have this piece of unfinished wood here. And I just painted the part that we're gonna paint our little palm tree island on black. It's just a matte black. And I just use a sponge brush, and that way I don't get any brush marks or lines in the paint. Alright, so I usually like to kind of just map out the space that I'm going to do the design in, especially on something like this, because it's definitely a unique shape, so it's gonna give us a little challenge, but it's totally worth it. So I have my etcher here, which is just a dotting tool where I broke the end off of it so it can kind of scratch into the paint. And I just find this useful because that way at the end there's no lines that I have to erase. I don't have to, worry about pieces of an eraser or chalk or any of that getting in the paint. So I try to use pencil as little as possible to create any guidelines that I put down. And that way too, it just damp water or damp towel, or even sometimes just putting the varnish over it will erase the lines that I etch into it. So I think we're going to do a little island. So I want to just kind of put an arch. And I'm just sketching that in like a little semicircle arch here for the island. And then I just want to decide if I want to do one palm tree or two. I think we'll just go with one tonight, and that way you can get an idea of how to actually create the palm tree. So I'm just going to sketch out the trunk here. No, I think I'm going to do it from off to the side here, and that'll give us enough space to have the leaves kind of branching out up here. And now keep in mind, this is just a guideline. Your sketch does not have to be some phenomenal fine work of art sketch. I'm by no means the best sketcher. I a lot of times have my husband help me out. That's when we do collaborations. So sketching it out is just to kind of rough out where you want the placement of the palm tree. So you can see I just kind of did an arc here. And then as far as the palm branches, the tree branch, not branches, leaves, I just take it, and you're going to do kind of like a sawtooth type palm tree. So I know there's tons of different kinds, the palmettos and everything, but I'm just kind of doing a generic palm tree leaf. So I'm just gonna kind of go in here, and the top part will be smooth, but then when you get to the point, let me zoom in a little here. Okay, so I think we're zoomed in a little better here. So I'm just doing an arch here for the top part of the leaf, and then you get to the bottom where they kind of phalange out, and you're just gonna do like a little sawtooth, and then as you come in, just have it connect to the tree. Alright, I'm going to see if this will give us a little better lighting here so that you can see the etching. So then you just, usually 5 or 6 leaves, so then you just start near the center again, do an arc, and then just some sawtooth pattern, and then connect it to the tree. And then you just have to decide which direction you want your leaves to go in. Which way is the wind blowing on your island? And then just kind of aim the leaves in the tree in that direction. Just like that. So it's really just a roughed in type palm tree. I know it looks more complicated maybe after you start getting the painting done, like this one, but that's the way I do it, and just kind of draw the arc and then just do your little sawtooth, and then you'll see as we get dotting how, whoops, how we get the placement of the dots to kind of look like the fringe on the leaf. Alright, so I'm going to start with the trunk of our palm tree, and I'm going to use this light cinnamon from the Decoart Americana. And really the trunk is just about bulking up different shades of brown to just kind of create that look of the palm tree trunk. I'm just going to start at the base. I want it to look like it's actually planted on the island here. I'm going to do a fairly large dot, and then not touching, but work my way up the trunk, leaving a little bit of space. And then as you get to the top part here, just kind of going a little bit smaller into the trunk. I mean into the top where the leaves connect. Alright, so to kind of save time, I work on different spots around the painting because this needs to dry before we can put any more dots around the trunk. So I'm going to grab my chocolate metallic here, and we're going to start into the base of the island here with some sparkly sandy beach type dots here, and I'm just kind of haphazardly putting them on the island, but I usually keep the darker colors near the bottom and then work up to kind of lighter towards the top, and that kind of gives the effect that the sun is shining on the top more. So that one was the chocolate. And I'm going to go with a little bit of the worn penny, or copper if you have copper. And that's going to kind of go a little bit higher up, because like I said, we're working our way into dark up into light. So I'm just going to haphazardly kind of intersperse them throughout each other to give that look of the sandy, sparkly beach. And there really is not a rhyme or reason to this. I'm just haphazardly tossing them down there. Alright, so now I'm going to start on the leaves, and I have this really nice bright apple green. And I usually start that on the arch on the top first, and then we'll work our way to the fringy part of the palm after. So I also start with the larger dots. So if you're using a dotting tool, you want to start like you walk your dots out from the center and out to the leaf, so that you're doing the largest ones towards the center, but if you're using a brush like I am, you just push down harder at the beginning, and then as you work your way out, just lightly let up on the brush, and you'll get smaller dots. Just like that. And it's like any tool, it just takes a little bit of practice. So you can do larger or smaller. So I can do smaller now if I wanted, but you just have to push down a little bit harder. And then as you work your way out, and also you'll have less, you'll have paint thinning off the tool that you're using as well. And that aids in making them smaller. So you don't have to switch out tools. Even if you're using a dotting tool, just use, I don't know, probably one about, let's see if I have one here, about this size, which probably is one of the smaller ones if you have a set of them. And then just start in the center and work your way out. And the paint will come off the tool and your dots will get smaller. And we have one last little guy here. There, so now I'm going to let those dry at the top. And this trunk now is probably dry enough that we can start filling in the colors on the sides. Alright, so I'm going to go with a little bit lighter. This one is a honey brown. And we're just going to take that lighter color and put it on, oh, I got one here in the way, but I put it on either side of the brown that was darker, the cinnamon that we used. And we're just tucking them in on either side to kind of even out the trunk and give it a little bulk. And then I just kind of let them be a little smaller as we go up as well. And that one is going to have my leaf here, so I'm just going to tuck one on that side. Like that. Alright, so looking back to our island base here, I'm going to use some of the Extreme Sheen Bronze. And we're going to put some of that bronze in our midsection here of our island. Like I said, we're just using the metallics to just give it that sandy, sparkly, beachy look. So I vary the dots in size, I vary them in space. It's not like a mandala where you worry about those dots running into one another either, just kind of haphazardly put them along like the sandy beach. Okay, let's go back up to our leaf area again. And now we're going to do the opposite side of the outline of the leaf. So with this, the fringe area, I just kind of let them go really small here. And you don't have to follow what you drew, but sometimes if you want them to look wispy, you can start in the center as opposed to doing an outline. You can kind of start here and then just dot out for the fringe, or you can make sort of a connection, so you're outlining it here. So I'm kind of dotting them in little triangles. And then push it out to the end. And then starting off where the leaf connects, I let it go a little bit longer here. But then you could start in the leaf and make a little section of the leaf there, one of the pointed sections of the leaf. Or you can just keep doing the fringe. So it just depends on which look you like better. So these are connected in kind of a triangle, but then when it all goes together, it looks like the palm tree fringe. And you just kind of adapt it. Like this one needed to be a little bit longer in my opinion. And I'm painting on top of my trunk because I felt like this leaf was on this side as opposed to behind it. So those are just the kind of thoughts that go through my head. And it just depends what you want your palm tree to look like. But at least this is the basics of how to start your design. So again, I sometimes go into the leaf a little and then just kind of let the dots get a little smaller, go back into the leaf, create that little leaflet there, the little piece of the leaf. And it's just a kind of jagged, haphazard type of dotting, and it comes out looking like your fringed leaf. And then once we get to the interior, we'll do a little bit of highlighting. And these ones too, it's not like the mandala where you're being very deliberate about where you place them. I just kind of making it look a little fringy. And there you have the outline of your palm tree leaves. Now for the interior highlight, I usually like to pick a couple of tones of different colors. So I'm going to use the Coastal Waters. It's more of a turquoisey, bluish color. And then I usually choose a lighter green as well. And all we're going to do with this is highlight our leaf. And the direction that it goes, just like that. And then I just throw a few more in the center there. Alright, so here I'm going to use a light lime, and that's to just do one more line under the coastal waters that we just did for an additional highlight on our leaf. I'm just kind of following along the same path I took for the coastal waters. That turquoise color. And then again, I'm just going to toss a couple here in the center just to kind of balance out the highlighting a little bit. Alright, so now the base of our island has dried enough. I think we can top it off with some nice bright kind of silvery white dots. So this is sterling silver from the Extreme Sheen line, but it's more of a pearlescent type coloring. I'm just going to go along kind of the top where you have the mica and where the sun would be shining, and then down in just a little bit here. Like I said, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason, and just kind of highlighting where the sun would be shining on top and where it would hit the mica on the top of the island. Maybe you can see it a little better there. Alright, so I'm going to choose a darker brown now, a raw umber. And we're going to take our raw umber and go in the center of each of the cinnamon dots that we put down to start our tree trunk. And just add a little top dot there. And that's going to give our tree trunk a good amount of depth. Check that out. And then I might even use some to fill in the spaces down here in the darker sand. You can really see on the camera where I didn't fill in, so it's helpful. Sometimes I'll take a picture too of my work just to kind of look at it from the camera angle. But there you have the basics on how to do the palm tree for the palm tree island. And that you can do on canvas as well. I do it on stones. This is what I'm working on, and the island is going to be mandala instead of the haphazard dotting. So there's a lot you can do with this design. And then also I'm working on a sweet little pendant where I drill my own stones for necklaces. And then I've been putting these in my Etsy shop too because I have too many of them. But you can see these nice black stones. I didn't paint the background, it's already the stone. And if I just take a little bit of water here, you can see when I varnish it how nice and bright that's going to be. I'm just going to put a little sun behind it and then it'll be done. So same with this design, is you have a lot of possibilities with how you can work this design. You could put a sun behind it, maybe put some nice waves down in here for the water. It just all depends on how you want to finish off your design. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to do the palm tree island with me. If you are looking for other videos that are by me, you can just hit the subscribe button, and all the time you will get the notifications whenever I put out a new video. And also you can subscribe to my channel to check out all the other ones that I have listed that I've done in the past. If you're looking for a more comprehensive way just to look at the pictures, I'm on Instagram as well, and we can also interact on Facebook at Miranda Pitrone Art. So I just want to thank you all for being so awesome and encouraging and patient with me while I was on vacation, because it's been a while since I did a video, but I'm getting back into the swing of things here, and I think this little palm tree was a great way to start it out, especially seeing as it got such great reviews at the art show. I'm so excited. What an honor that was and blessing. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm kind of speechless. It's super exciting. So there's our palm trees. And let me know what you think in the comments, and always you guys can ask questions and interact. It's a super great art community. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it, and looking forward to seeing what you all create. Alright, have a great evening. There'll be more coming. Keep an eye out on my Instagram for a giveaway coming up soon too, and more collaborations with other amazing artists from other realms other than painting as well, I'm hoping. Alright. Have a great night, you guys. Happy painting!